Welcome to the Crafty Mini. So in this one we're going to do a bit of an update on the Trench Crusade project I'm working on. Show you where I'm at currently and what you can expect in the future. So been playing around with the different things and styles and trying to figure out exactly what it is I want for my force. I've got the miniatures locked down, it's just the actual paint scheme itself now. So on the screen now you'll see it's like a mini diorama. I just had a bit of a play about, found this miniature, and I got this Vallejo diorama thick mud, and just had a play with it, see what it comes out with, and if the colours worked. Now you can see it's not a bad finished result. I think I'm going to push the highlights a little bit more, so it's not quite as muted. But I really like how the mud effects have gone on, and the colour palette I'm using there for a trench pilgrim. I think it works quite nicely with just a little bits of gold and things on the where the cross is and bits like that. Also this 28mm scale barbed wire I'm going to be using a lot of as well on the miniatures that you'll see in the future. So as I say, this was just a test piece to give me an idea of what it is I wanted to do, and based on that, this is what I've used then as a sort of going forward. So I've actually, for those who've looked at the community tab, you'd have seen I had my trench pilgrims once I'd finished kitbashing and modding them and stuff. I've actually managed to do two forces because I found some cracking models for the Principality of Antioch as well. So we'll start off, we'll look at those, and I'll go through all the miniatures and things and show you. So a couple of them I've painted up as I've now sort of settling on my paint scheme that I want, and we'll go from there. Right, so to start off with the Forces of Antioch. So I've got these, they're called Mage Hunter Auto Gunner Saint Decent miniatures for the bodies. I got these from Etsy from One Stop Resin print shop here in the UK. Really good price. You get I think it was 12 miniatures including a banner and a commander and a heavy weapons. Really nice detail on these. And then I did a head swap because they had these sort of like Basque helmets. And I wanted something that looks a bit more like the Antioch pictures in the artwork. So from Etsy, Beowulf Minis Printing in London, I got the Saint Decent, they're called Salad Head packs. You get 10 different helmets in there. Some have got like gas mask canisters, others have got helmets and things, and they fit really nice. Just a little bit of shaving to get the connection points fitting exactly on, and with the high collars you can't do too much with the poses, but again managed to get them to fit how I wanted. Now the actual miniatures that you can see here, and we'll do some close-ups, they've come together really nice. I've added a few extra bits like swords for the commanders and the bearer, and then again for the bases gone for the diorama mud, bit of coffee stirrer for sort of like trench planks, and then the barbed wire that I either coiled up or pulled apart, just so it gives a bit of variation to the actual bases. But the miniatures themselves, they're really nice. So they've got these big chunky backpacks, all this sort of webbing and pouches for all the magazines and grenades and things. The guns don't look too sci-fi either, and they've got the sort of lobster armour that you see in some of the actual World War I pictures that the men actually used when they were fighting, and those helmets just set it off really nice, and they look like an Antioch sort of force. I've been playing around with paint schemes as well, so I'll show you a couple that I have painted up, which will be for an upcoming video. I'll show you how I painted these. I was just playing around with colour schemes and coming up with how I wanted them to look, and I'm quite happy. The green, it's not as blue as a sort of blue tint as it is on the Antioch paintwork, but I think it's a nice contrast with the sort of the khaki British uniform that I've got on there. And yes, there'll be a video coming up in the next couple of weeks with how I actually painted them, and you'll see in a moment with the close-ups the actual uniform itself, because I want them to punch and stand out a bit more. They've got a nice unique silhouette with the helmets and the bulky armour, but when you're looking at them at sort of tabletop level, you want them to stand out and know who they are. And then with the variations of the helmets, because there are a couple of poses that are reused, You can pick out individuals depending on like what roles they've got in the game, and rules for specific weapons and whatnot. But overall, pretty good. The only difference I think I'll do is with the commander. He's got like almost like a 40k iron halo across the top, and a shield, and he'll get, I think I'll do him with a red helmet instead. But yeah, as I say, this will be an upcoming video of how I've painted these. It's a really simple paint job, but it does stand out. The two that I've done I'm very, very happy with, and it should be a good force when it's completed. Right, so on to what is definitely my favourite faction from the lore, and that's the Trench Pilgrims. So with these, I've kitbashed a little bit more, and I've gone for something a bit different compared to what you see in like the traditional artwork, with the the big pointy hats, and so I wanted them. They've got a bit more of a backstory. So the idea was these are people who've been unfortunately corrupted by the Black Grail from the lore, and they haven't got long left to live. So they're put into almost like a Schaefer's Last Chances Suicide Squad type thing, and they're all got like these pustules and boils, and it's the only way they can redeem themselves from this unholy sort of affliction is to give their life in battle. So with the actual the kit itself, again, got from Etsy, and it was from Creativity Cave Print. These are technically corrupted guard, so you can use them as, I'm assuming, like chaos sort of corrupted Imperial Guardsmen. Now there were some monsters and things in the actual set. I haven't used those, but I've used any of the guys who've got like the big chunks of flesh and pustules and boils. They've got very simple weapons, little to no armour. The only difference is the couple of the main characters. So we've got there's a guy I've made who's got a big cross. He's like the sort of the preacher of the group. You've got the commander he's wearing a mask. He's clearly been affected. He's got an injury on the one arm. And then I found this from Only Games, the Beastarian miniatures, and it's this nun, and she's covered in pustules, and she's got this bowl. And then I wanted something a bit more monstrous, so the communicants in the actual lore. I found this old Fantasy Knight miniature that I've had sitting in my bits box, chopped it up and done some kit bashing. You'll see the close-ups on that. It needs a bit more sort of sculpting work, but it's got this sort of barbed wire heavy club and a Bible attached to his belt, and the body of Pilgrim. Pretty cool. They're more unique, these miniatures, and you can do a bit more with them, which I like. And I've definitely had a bit more fun with these because of this is my sort of go-to faction. Yeah, paint jobs and things I'm not sure yet, but you can see here like they sort of I wanted them to stand out a bit more, whereas the Antioch look like a unit from a professional army. I've always been a fan of the Last Chances lore in 40k, so I wanted to do something similar, and basically these are expendable soldiers. The only difference being the commander and the head priest, because you'll notice they're the only two characters that wear face masks. So that they're, in terms of their affliction to the Black Grail, they're little to no effect, and that's why they lead these basically poor wretched souls who've got no other chance. They're going to die horrifically and in agony, so you might as well go forward and sacrifice yourself for the greater good. But yeah, really fun. I'm going to look forward to painting these, and again, that'll be another video. I'll paint these up, and a little treat just after this. We've got a character I've been working on, just as a bit of fun, just to see how I want to do the sort of rotted and corrupted skin. Right, so this miniature is from, it's a Beastarian Games sculpt. Again, I got from Only Games in the UK, because trying to find them for a UK retailer is really difficult. You can get them from America quite readily, but obviously the postage and things. They have got a variety of stuff that's really quite gnarly that you can see here. And the idea was I just wanted a figure to play around with, and try and figure out how I'm going to do this sort of rotted flesh and blood effects and stuff. And I've been really playing with the villainy inks on this and trying different things. So with the close-ups, you'll see there's all these bits of detail and whatnot. It's not a finished product, it's more just like a test piece for me to see how I can get the most out of all these effects paints that I've got. Really quite happy with it. I think the skin needs a little bit more contrast, just a bit more brighter in certain areas, just to make it pop a little bit more. But you really get the sense that is damaged and tumorous pustule skin it's really aggravated and sore. And if you look at the actual pose in the close-ups, you'll see the actual miniature. His legs are about halfway up the model, so he's a normal sized human, but he's just sitting on this sort of slug body of just tumours and growths. So yeah, it's just a really cool miniature, and as I say, I've been practicing a lot just how I'm going to paint my trench pilgrims themselves, and I'm going to use some of the techniques that I've done on here. So that's where I am at with the Trench Crusade sort of project that I'm working on. So yeah, you're getting an Antioch sort of head to do batch painting for uniformed miniatures. The trench pilgrims I might do individual character paint jobs. I'm not sure yet. It depends how the effects go and how they turn out. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting project. Looking forward to the game coming out. I've been watching some of the battle reports online, and it looks like it's going to be a really good game. So thank you all very much for watching. Thank you all for the comments on the Trench Crusade video. It absolutely blew up on the channel. Over 7,000 views. It was crazy. It's clearly a game that's going to get a lot of love and a lot of attention. And we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.